Well, hi, good morning, and thank you so much for joining me in my shop here. Today it is November 16th today, and in front of me I have a Irish-built radio. I never had a radio from Ireland in my shop here. I've had a few British radios, and there were a number of made in Britain or England that were for sale in North America and Canada. I have a couple of Pi radios, but I don't think I have any Irish radios. This is not my radio. This belongs to somebody else. It's a family heirloom, like so many of these radios are. So this has got a really interesting look to it, and probably one of the most interesting things about it, unusual things about this radio, is it has two dials. It has a dial face here and a dial face here. It has only one tuning knob, this one here, and if you look close you'll see this pointer's moving, and so is this one, and this is the same pointer all through here. So that's very unusual. They didn't stack all this up, and like vertically like this, and then maybe have the speaker over here. Instead, they've done this this style here. Very interesting. I just noticed the tree symbol. I wonder if that's the, well, I don't know, Bush. So it's made by a company called Bush. Is that supposed to be a tree from the bush? Why is there a tree there? So this radio has three shortwave bands. It has a long wave band, and a medium wave band, and somehow I had myself convinced it had an FM band, and it does not. It does not have an FM band. Okay, so I wrote a bunch of nonsense to the owner of this radio about the difficulties of bringing an old FM band back together. Well, none of that matters because there's no FM here. Okay, so this would be what we would call AM radio, the AM radio band here. And it looks like it's in meters. Yeah, meters. Meters. Oh, and this is in megacycles. Okay, and it has a long wave band, which of course in North America I don't think it's ever been anything significant. In Europe, there was and there still are a few long wave transmitters. I don't think there's many around anymore. Okay, and lots of different cities. We'll take a look at those city names at some point going down the road. It also has a magic eye up here, and this looks like expanded metal here, in beautiful shape, which is very unusual. I have a couple other radios. In fact, they're the Pi radios. Expanded metal must have been popular in that part of the world or something. I have a couple more radios with expanded metal, and boom, they've been bent in, and also they've corroded. They've turned kind of a rusty yellow color, but this looks fantastic. So just continuing with the cabinet here, it's in excellent shape. It has a curved top, which makes refinishing difficult, but it doesn't need any refinishing. And what I mean by it makes it difficult, you can't limit it. Like if you wanted to, like a lot of these radios, the top needs to be redone because people put plants or stuff on it and ruin the top. And if you have a perfectly squared off top, then you can refinish the top, leave the rest alone. But when it's curved like this, you're on your way to do basically the entire thing. But this doesn't need any kind of refinishing at all. This is in lovely shape. It certainly is cracked here, but nothing's flaking off, and I don't think it's too important. There's the Bush symbol with the tree again. Bush radio. I don't know if that's ringing a bell or if I'm just remembering my own memories from yesterday now. Fantastic looking. So on the knobs, we've got a tone control. We've got a on-off volume control. A tune. Say another tone control. Tuning control, of course. And it's highly geared, like you have to make many turns to move the pointer a short distance, and that's going to make short wave tuning much easier. And then we have the band switch here, wave band G. That must be L. It looks like an I, but I guess the bottom part's missing. L for long wave, medium wave, and then we go, oddly enough, 3, 2, 1. Presto. Fantastic. Let's put this on the medium wave band. And we'll take a look at the back of this guy. Oops. So one of the main reasons it's come here is because during a move, or this radio was being moved from one location to another, the plug got ripped off of it. And I guess the owners are uncomfortable with putting a new plug on themselves. Here it is. It's time anyway for this thing to go through some restoration work, I'm sure. So I can see already there is just a ton of dust inside there. This has been punched in here. AC receiver type BS35 for use on 100 to 127 volts or 200 to 250 volts, 45 watts. Remove back to adjust. So this has been operated in North America, so it's adjusted for the 120 volts here. Serial number here. Bush radio, there's the tree again. Ireland. Aerial. It says maximum sensitivity, maximum selectivity. So I guess they're trying to encourage you to put an antenna on here, but as I look at it right now, if you don't put an antenna here, there's no antenna on this radio. But maybe when we take the back off, we'll find out that there's something inside. And this is the record player pickup. And you could probably do the Bluetooth thing through here if you wanted to. I'm actually not encouraging people to do that. And what's up here? Internal loudspeaker switch. Unscrew to disconnect. External loudspeaker. Unscrew to disconnect. External loudspeaker. So it's got one terminal there and another terminal there for the external loudspeaker. Then this must be some form of clumsy switch. Very unusual. Let's take the back off. See what's inside here. So today I'm quite likely to get the radio out of its cabinet onto my bench, and there's a good chance I'll have it plugged in and try to operate it today. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like inside. The screws are all finger loose, so somebody's been in here. It's got two little grabbies here. So lift it up and out. Okay, nothing on the back but a bunch of dust. Ooh, it is dusty. Oh, holy smokes. Well, it looks like an attempt has been made to shovel off some of this dust. Wow, this is a lot of dust. I've seen a lot of dusty radios. This one's right up there. Maximum dustage. Wow. Let's take a look here. So somebody's tried to do some dusting because this front part is clean a little bit, and then you can see a shoving has taken place. Oh my gosh. And other than me tuning it, I don't think this is really come back from somewhere. It's been somewhere. Yeah. So I was told the story of this radio, and it has traveled around, and it has been in storage for an extended period. So there's a great big hole here in the chassis, as if something is missing. I'll bet you nothing's missing there. But that is curious. This is a little curious too. What are these? Oh, this must be the adjustment. Well, I've never seen it done like that. This must be the voltage adjustment. So you put this on, you know, that's very unusual. Well, you know, it is from another country that I've never seen before, so it's liable to have some ideas I've never seen before in it. The IF transformers appear to be tuned from here, this way. It's got a 3-section tuning capacitor, so that hints it's a good radio. Better than some. And the tubes, like a UY41, are in North America. Those are unusual, rare tubes. I don't know about the rest of the world. There's a bracket here, and I guess it was holding this. Yeah, it must have been holding this up at one time. Just falling down. The wire is very, very flexible. Wow. Usually these wires are as stiff as can be, but these are all quite flexible. Must be that good Irish plastic or something going on there. This is a plug here. I think this is a plug. And it looks like it's going up to the speaker. And these must be the panel lights here. Panel lights are in this cable. The output transformer is mounted up here on the speaker. This is the wires that come over to the weird switch. There's a sticker here. Approved. Final inspector, no name. Final tester. Oh. There's a stamp there. And there's a red stamp there. Bush Radio, I'm sure it says Bush Radio Limited, Chiswick, London. Must be in 2 locations. Chiswick, well, I know where London is. London's just about a 1-hour drive from here. Yeah, there's a city called London here in Ontario, about an hour away. But this London is not that London. This London has to be the one in England, of course. So looking at other debris stuff in here, there is just dust bunnies galore. So I'm poking around here just to make sure there isn't a sheet of asbestos hidden under the dust, and I'm sure there isn't. Looking at the cabinet now, because we can see the back corners of it here. Looking down here for any kind of weakness. This is a spot if it's been sitting in moisture or dampness. This is an area that would be deteriorated. Looks good. Looks very good. And this corner, I'm also looking for separations. It's very, very dry in Canada in the winter. It's so dry that everything shrinks. And furniture, like if you really let it go down, it'll go down all the way down to like 12% humidity, which is dry. Your furniture will crack open. The seams will crack. The door frames will separate. You know, so that would happen to these radios too, but it hasn't. Very good. Okay, so what to do? It's a gigantic speaker here. Has a nice long wire with a plug on it. So we can probably leave the speaker in the cabinet, pull this out, examine the components underneath and whatnot, whatever it is we want to do, and consider turning this guy on. Now, how is he held in here? He's got this screw here, and this one is there nothing underneath here? Let's take a look. Wow. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. This might be access to an adjustment actually down here. There's 4 screws underneath. The feet have seen better days. Okay, what's the deal with these? So there's a bracket. So one of the screws that I just identified is holding this bracket. Very oddly enough, there's a similar arrangement up in the front corner there, just like this. Only there's no hope of getting it at this screw. So I guess we take the 4 out from underneath and the whole thing comes out. These brackets, this just stays the way it is. I think that's the case. I should dust this a little bit. I'm gonna dust this up now before I try to take it out of the cabinet, or dust is going to be everywhere. I'm pretty sure of that. Okay, I will do that. Okay, that's it for the vacuuming here and dusting. I'm sure I missed some dust in there somewhere, but looks a lot better already. So I think the thing to do is to try to pull this plug out that goes to the speaker and the lights. Yeah, okay. Now, let's take a closer look at what might be involved in pulling this out, pulling the chassis out. There can be all kinds of surprises, wires and stuff like that, and those surprises show up while you've got the chassis half out. It's not good. So first of all, I think I've got this speaker wire. I'm gonna loop it up here, get it out of the way. Now there's something else here. There's a magic eye. That's not on a plug. So the magic eye would have to come off if the chassis is going to come out, or I pull this plug off the back. For now, I'm going to pull the plug off the back here. If I can, or maybe I can't easily. Okay, so there's a screwed bracket here holding the light, holding the bulb in place. We got to bring it out anyway. Sooner or later, it has to be connected to the radio while the radio's out. So we have to bring this out too. I can't see what I'm doing here. Get my finger on the top of the screw just to feel when it gets all the way. I really don't want to separate this completely. Okay, tube coming out. What's this tube? A little looser here. Looks like a label or something on the tube, or maybe it's a material. That's not as far as we want to go. To make the come on, it won't come out. It's holding it. Now there's another way to do this. There's another way. There's a better way. A better way. There's a better way. Leave the bracket on the tube. Up a bit. Oh, UM4, Mullard UM4, 165 volts it says on it, made in where? Oh, this way. Made in it says Holland? Holland? Really? Okay, interesting. Not sure it says Holland, but it looks like it. So I'm just going to wrap this and stick it here. Now, is the chassis completely free? So this is going to come out. Here's the wheel from the tuning with the string on it. Where's the string? Where's the string? The string is all hidden from view. Okay, so we have this metal piece here, which is all screwed to the front panel. This big metal piece. And there's the lights in it. These lights pop out. They do not pop out. They're screwed in. But I disconnected the plug here, so I don't have to worry about that. So it looks like let me get another camera. We're going to go inside there and take a little bit of a closer look at things. Now, where's this? Oh, here it is. What's this camera doing? Staring at the ceiling. I'm going to have to adjust the focus on this camera. So you can see the string way down here. And the pointer sliders right here where my finger is, but it's very hard to see. There's a bunch of marks on the panel there. They're probably alignment marks. Okay, so looking at this back metal plate, it's screwed to the front of the radio. So the problem here is the slider's probably sliding on this metal piece, and you just pull the cabinet out and you're going to tug this string here. So some of these are made so the pointer separates from the part that's riding on the string. Others you have to somehow get the pointer free, or this is all coming out with the radio. You know, so look at this end over here. So you see this big bracket is on the chassis. Let's try and get the focus a little bit better. And this comes over. This is a pulley wheel, right? You can just see the top edge of it here. And you can see a bit of the string back there. Is this just floating here? This is a surface that the pointer slides on. Sometimes there's an escape area. You slide the pointer to it and then you can escape it. Let's look and see if there's anything like that in here. Maybe way up this way. It would be hidden from view up there. Does not appear to be the case. Okay, so can we even see? So this is the kind of thing where if you find it out, you find out the truth the hard way. You've paid too big a price. So you can't. I need better light in here. You know what I need to do? I need to go drink some coffee, and then we'll kind of carry on. A little better arrangement here. We can see better what's going on. Don't want to make a mistake here. Okay, there's a pretty good view of the slider. Let me turn the tuning knob here if I can find it. This one. Kind of get an idea of what's going on. Ah, you can see the knob in the background. Sometimes these things are just kind of hanging there, and they can just kind of be pulled off. Well, let's try that. So it looks like there's a like a top rail or ridge on the metal piece that the slider is sliding on, and it seems to be catching it here. I'm going to put this down to the far end, tune it way down to the far end if I can. Let's see. Far down. Oh, this is only one pointer. Oh my gosh, the situation just got twice as bad here. Hey you, what are you doing? Okay, don't know what you saw just there because I wasn't looking. Hopefully it was my cat. Let's just go take a look at the situation here. The situation has become even more difficult. So we have a pointer over here. That's the one I'm looking at. We have a pointer here, roughly in the middle. So it's almost all the way there. I see the other pointer too. Oh my gosh, of course they're on the same. They're on the same string. They're on the same string. Oh my gosh. This whole part has to come out. This whole part has to come out. But I don't think it's. I don't think this metal part here, this part here. I don't think this part is attached to the chassis. I think it's screwed to the front. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Many uh-ohs. So is the whole front, is the whole thing ready to come back? Am I just making this more difficult than it really is? I mean, the whole thing comes out? So there's some pretty heavy-duty screws here, up here and here. I don't know that they're going into the front. Let's see. I'm going to flex the front and see if this wiggles up here. Ooh, it's as solid as can be. It's solid. You can see the 3 screws here pretty clearly. So would that be it? I take out these 3 screws, and then the whole thing comes out. Speaker and all, the sound you hear is some kind of kitten destruction going on in my house. Oh boy. Another thing, I did pull one tube out so I can get better access with my hand here. I pulled the tube out. I had a chance to take a look at it. Okay, these are weird tubes from a North American point of view. They have a bit of a strange base on them. So these are oddballs. UCH, it looks like something 2. British made. Is this just wiping right off? No. Okay, I'm going to put this back in. How do you put these in? Oh, it has a key here on the glass globe has a key. Very odd how this works. The tube goes in and that little bump on the glass goes down into this little grippy area, but it doesn't actually go all the way down. And it doesn't actually line up all that well. This one does. I guess these are supposed to kind of pop back and hold onto this glass bit, but it didn't really work out. This one looks like this one's locked in pretty good. Never seen anything quite like that before. Irish people. Very clever people. If I know my history, and I don't, there was a time where Irish people were in the lead on science and things like that. And I think, and I could be wrong about this, but Irish people had a lot to do with the formation of Canada. Some particular people from Ireland who were here helped to establish the way Canada's organized today. I think I got that story right, but I may not. So, Ireland. What are you up to with this radio? Could there be instructions? Jim, you haven't even looked. You haven't looked for anything yet. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. I have. What am I saying? Last night I went looking for information about this radio. I couldn't find any on this model. This is the 35. There's another model very similar to this, probably a later model, for which there's information, schematic, and stuff like that. This guy, what is this guy called? He's the serial number, type BS35. BS, you know. Didn't one of the executives say, well, I guess Bush something. Bush something. Okay, we're gonna, I'm not gonna bother looking for a manual. So what happens if these screws, what could these screws be that if they're not holding this panel up? Or maybe all I have to do is release this panel, this metal panel, with it only has 4 little screws here, and then that panel will travel with this. And that would bring the pointers and all, but it would leave behind the glass. That's got to be the way. But no matter how much I look, it looks like this panel is, well, if it's screwed to the front and only the front, and I take the screws out, then it's loose and floppy. Then out it comes. But there's screws down low. Oh boy. Or I get back to what I was talking about. Just pop the pointers off the rail, and let me try that again. Did I advance this all the way? Oh no, long ways to go. So I'm going to get a pointer right over in the window there. Here it comes. Of course, when you get it to the end, the string flexibility becomes very minimized because the pulley's right here. You just don't have much. But I can examine the situation here, or can I? Well, this thing is gripping. I think it's gripping right around. So in other words, you have this piece of metal that's sliding on, and it's gripping it right around. Does not want to come off. And now that I'm looking at it fairly clearly view here, yeah, this sliding rail is on this panel. This panel's on the front, not on the chassis. If I pull the chassis out, the string is going to remain hooked up to these pointers, and something bad will happen, and it will happen very quickly. So can't get the pointers off. Can't get the string off the pointers. How exactly? Like it looks. Let's look at the close-up camera here. I've got this over here. I can see it better now. It's very curiously made also. Very. It seems like a pretty complicated piece of metal here for what it does. And it looks like 2 pieces of metal. One's a little goldy colored, you know, the one in the middle there. And then there's the part that's actually sliding. And so is that the pointer that it goes up under and up and around and comes out the front? You can kind of see in there, maybe. See, the problem here is that there can be an easy way to do this, and I don't know it. And so I could take a very rough run at this and make a mess of it. And if any of you have worked on radios before, you see that string? You do not want to break that string. So if we look, we see the slider is screwed to that metal bracket. And you can see all the way past it. It doesn't come forward, and the metal bracket is hooked up to this big, it's riveted to this sheet, and then the sheet is screwed to this wood, and then the wood appears to be screwed to the cabinet. Like a porthole. Oh, man, there's room here to do something disastrous, and my antennae are wiggling away. Is that piece on the top there? Is that kind of loose? Let me just see if I can. Oh, look at that. Huh. Well, I'll be surprised. So this is held in place by these two wings, this weird shape that I was commenting about just a moment ago. And down below are two more. So this is telling me I can get the pointer out of here, probably by pushing it downwards and pulling it back. That's what it's telling me. Or it's just a matter of what do I need to do here? You don't need to do anything. You don't need to do anything. You just pull the chassis out and it'll pull the pointers out for you. Then probably the pointers have to be rotated. Which way are the pointers? The pointers are vertical, right? Right. Oh, crash. I'm getting all excited here because I don't get excited. Yeah, it's a vertical pointer. So I have to turn it on its side. Probably twist it onto its side here. So what that looks like then is you pull the radio out to some degree. I can do this. I can do this over here. I can imitate this. We'll pull the radio out. We'll pull on this string. See, I told you, those Irish people, very clever, very clever. Excellent. Okay, that's good. You know what? It's time to, just before I take action, I like to stop, drink some coffee, and give a little bit of time for my brain to come up with reasons why I shouldn't do what I'm about to do. Yeah, good. Okay, I feel a little better about pulling the chassis out. So I'm just drawing out some of the screws here, and notice something a little odd. Look at the feet on this thing. Now maybe you can't see it from where you are, but I think this is a Band-Aid. I don't know what this is. I don't know. So you see I have the radio up on its side and I'm taking the screws out and the chassis will fall. But only if I take out the upper screws, the lower ones. I can remove like this. I can even remove one of the upper ones here. It's just very easy to do it this way. And I'm just going to loosen this one a little bit. Okay. Now we'll flip this back down here. Better just stand back during this operation. Oh, I keep forgetting about the magic eye, which is loose inside. Now I can just take out the screws by hand here. One. Where's the other one? Hey, who took the other one? Here it is. I gotta pull those knobs off. Looking to see if there's any kind of a screw in them. There is not. Just pull out. Great big knobs. Whew. Wow. It's another example of the Irish. Look at that. This one's got a felt piece. This one's not got a felt piece. Felt. Three with felt, one with not. Looks like there once was felt. So how did that disappear? Somebody pulled the knobs off? Why would somebody pull the knobs off? Only to take the chassis out. Okay, so I just put the magic eye, which has been flopping around in here, again with these amazingly flexible wires. That's just not common in these old radios. Okay, now I want to watch the pointer very carefully as I do this. Probably pull it a certain distance and then have to do something with the pointers. That's probably how this is going to work. Did not have to do anything at all. Nothing whatsoever. This was the easiest one. it couldn't have gotten any easier. But, you know, it's worth investigating these things, because, like, if you go to pull one of these apart and you get a surprise halfway through it, you might have a big problem. Okay, I'm going to put this cabinet down. The cabinet with the speaker is easily half the weight of the radio. Okay, here we are. Here we are down here. Okay, what more can we see now? We see a bunch more dust here that I can now get at. Now, what is keeping these in place? Just the way they're on the string there, with a very simple clip. So I'll bet you I could move these by accident if I'm not careful. And once they get shifted a bit, well, then we're into more alignment issues. Now, these feet, there's nothing. So this is just a locator pin. You push this forward, and this, no doubt there's a fitting in the cabinet. He says, having a look. Well, I don't know. Well, that's typically what that is. It's to drive home the chassis in exactly the right spot. So this is very, oh, here they are again. Clever, the Irish, very clever. So this is independently driving the string, and it's using what's called a friction gearing system, if you like. Let me put the close-up camera on it. See, one of the issues that, yeah, I can't find the camera. One of the issues with all these radios is when you have a string like this and you turn the dial all the way to the end, what happens? Well, in a lot of cases, what happens is the string slips around the shaft here. And so you can get to the end, you can just keep turning the knob and nothing bad is going to happen. But if it doesn't slip, if it grabs the string, you put a lot of force onto the string and eventually break it. So the radio manufacturers don't want that to happen. So they have various ways of making this thing slip. Look at how much I have to turn this to get motion on the... Is that my imagination, or is that delayed? Am I turning this and then a moment later the string is moving? Wait a minute. Is this a video effect? The video is slightly delayed. Oh. Okay, so what's happening here is I'm looking at the TV screen up here. I'm watching what I'm doing up on that screen way up there. And so I'm watching the pointer, but I'm not watching my hand. Why would I watch my hand? I want to watch the pointer. So I'm turning this, and then I'm noticing the pointer moves about a half a second later. What I didn't notice is my hand doesn't move for half a second either, because the hand is delayed. Okay. Hey, it's lots of fun for me in the shop here, even if it's not so entertaining. Okay, let's take a look at this string here. Let's take a look. Everything fascinates me. What can I say? I'm suspicious all the time that there's more to every story. You can always go deeper on these things. Okay, so I'm going to put this up like this. I'm going to swing it around to the other side, actually. We're going to put it like that. There you are. Let me just adjust the focus. Just give me a second here. There we are. So the tuning knob, that's the shaft you see right in front of you. It has that weird split spot down in the bottom and down towards the chassis. And you can see that the other wheel is running in that slot. There's no gears involved. There's nothing here. Don't oil this. Don't oil this. So the idea is when you get to the end, and I am almost at the end here. We'll go right to the end. Okay, I'm at the end. Now I can keep turning this shaft. There's more going on here than I realized. Yeah, that's interesting. So there is a slipping going on. You see the string is not moving, yet I'm turning the knob, and you can see the big wheel is turning too. Let's come around the other side. So how they achieve the string slip is of interest to me. So in this case, with the capacitor open fully, if I try to go further, you see the slipping happening there. Now most of these, when you turn it the other way, the string pulls tight. This way, I guess it's loosening off. In any case, it's see also where the string is going around three times. There's like a bobbin shape there, and it's shaped in it like a U, like it has a valley. See how the string on the far side is trying to climb up the valley wall, but it can't do it. So as it climbs up the wall, the string tension is increased because some string is being absorbed in the wider diameter here. So that's pulling the string down the hill into the valley. And that's the whole idea of this. Otherwise, you'd need a shaft a mile long for this string to crawl along. Now if I go the other way, it should crawl up the other side. So see, it's going across, and now it's on the other bank, I want to say, of the valley wall, and now it's sliding. So we're going to go all the way across. Whoops, this way. I'm going to go all the way across this way. So I'm at the other extreme here, right here. Okay, so any further now, and the capacitor can't move, string can't turn, something has to slip. Let's see what slips. Well, it's the same thing, it's a string slipping on the bobbin. So I thought it might slip on the big wheel where the friction contact is made. And you know what? Maybe it's supposed to slip there a bit. I certainly have a radio where that is where the slip occurs. It occurs here. And it's a completely geared radio, the one I'm talking about. There's no string. So you got to get the slip somewhere if you're using gears. Okay, so this is working just fine. In many cases, maybe not many cases, in some cases, the string, rather than climb up the valley wall and slide back down and end up in a stable spot, the string will double over at the end there. The string will double over itself. You can kind of imagine, just looking at it, how it could climb up onto itself, and then you'd have a double thickness of string on there. The extra thickness of string means the diameter of the shaft is now increased, if you like, because of where the string, not in this radio. I have to imitate it by pushing the string up like this and get it to climb like that. See, you don't want that can happen in some radios. As it's happening, you can feel it. You can feel it in the knob, because things suddenly get a little tight, and then afterwards you can tune faster, but you probably wouldn't perceive that fact. So if things go wrong with these strings, say you're going to buy a radio at a yard sale or in a store, like an old radio, and you grab the knob, tune it from one extreme to the other, and feel what happens. And if partway through it starts kind of tightening up, it probably has this string doubling problem going on, and that would be because of various problems. That would be because of the condition of the shaft here. I spent a lot of time on this, talking about this. But this is often a problem in a radio. And see the number of times around here, three times around, that's really critical. If you're going to replace this string, and I'm certainly not, you'd want to go around 3 times. You'd have to know it was 3 times around. Some of these radios, the string is completely missing. So, guessing game? Whoa, that's a tough one to guess. Let's take a look at the rest of the string system here while we've got this camera going and we're talking so much about the string. And, okay, here's those very crafty connectors. Oh my gosh, there's cats all over the place here. They've been falling down. It's cats doing that. And this one, hey, this has got a break in it. Wonder what happened there. So matter? I don't think it matters. It's all turning. This is turning too. Big wheel. So let's take a look at the termination of the string. Hopefully I don't have to do anything about this. Wow, another Irish innovation. Look at this. Now typically the string is tied around the spring end and there's no fancy metal piece there. Look at that. That's a thing of beauty there. And you can see the spring is pulled out. And we tune along here. And the spring is not changing, and it shouldn't change. So check the tension. Lots of tension. He's pulling hard. Pulling hard. So a lot of airborne string along here. So you need a fair bit of tension to keep it from, sagging and that. Okay, we beat the string to death here, I think. While we got this camera going, let's take a look at the capacitor here. Well, first of all, it's on an angle. Of course, the front of the radio is on an angle, so they've had to mount this on an angle. So the big wheel's on a bit of an angle too. Huh. It needs a little more cleaning. But there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with it. Occasionally, these guys, a couple things about the capacitor here. In the factory, as a part of the factory alignment process, some of these outside may be bent outwards. If we look really carefully, we might get the impression it was done here. I don't get that impression. Maybe this one right here, but it's a tiny amount. Maybe a very tiny amount. Well, it does look like it's been bent out. An Irish technician did this, so I'll bet you these things have been carefully adjusted, and it took only a little tiny bit of plate bending to adjust it. What can happen in these radios if people don't know what they're doing? They reach their hand in to grab something, and they grab this, and they bend these plates, bend them in. Oh, look at this, just below the capacitor. My eye just caught all this stuff. Whoa. Wow, so these are all the alignment adjustments in the radio. They're all on the end here. How have they managed that? They've got them all bunched up at the end. Pretty interesting. Do a little more vacuuming in here. A lot of these are painted in place and they've never been adjusted because you can just tell from the paint. No one's ever come in here and adjusted these. And I'm not going to get my screwdriver out and immediately start adjusting this stuff. We're going to find out if it's needed. Okay, wow, lots of dust here. I'm going to clean some more dust off, then we're going to look underneath. And somewhere in the middle there, I'm going to grab some coffee. Okay, let's take a look at one more thing here with the close-up camera, and that's these marks here at the front. Calibrations in megacycles per second. So what are they saying here? They're saying that line represents those different frequencies. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's a 5-band radio. Yeah, that's what that's got to be. Okay, and then we come down here. There's some more here. Only 4. Wait a minute. There's 5 here. Only 4 here. And then there's datum. That last one is not labeled, and that's probably a pointer marker, and probably indicates where the pointer should rest. And there might be another one in here that I missed. Another mark? Is there another mark? Yeah. Well, datum right at the end. What about this one? Well, it's got these numbers. Okay, don't know what that is. But whoop, where'd it go? Here it is. Well, let's just tune the radio there and see what happens. Come here, tune the radio to an extreme and see if one of the pointers shows up there. No, I don't think so. No. So, no, they're nowhere near it. Pointer here and a pointer here. Don't know what the datum mark is. Let's go the other way. Maybe it's the other way. So, nope, no way. Datum, don't know what that is. Okay, fine. Let's look underneath. This is where the rubber meets the road here. What do we got underneath? So tipping this guy up, we got problems. This thing sticks out. This is sticking out here. The capacitor itself is sticking out. The wheel is sticking out. Tipping it on its back. It's not so bad. Just the cord gets pinched a bit. It's going to be a little unstable. I put 2 blocks here. Let's do that. Put 2 blocks here. And we'll flip this up on those blocks. Catch the magic eye, which is going to fly around here. So it's stable. That's unstable. Why are you unstable? Because all this weight and the weight, it's pulling it over. So I want to stabilize it. I could stabilize it on here or here. This would be better. If I just slide this block here and grab, see, and keep little chunks of wood around for this purpose. That's pretty good. That's going to do it. Back on there so you're along for the ride. There we are. Hot diggity dog. So I did see a photograph of what this might look like. I think it was the next model of radio, and I noticed right away they've got this sort of a panel with all the components laid out on it. I think that's a thumbs up for me when it comes to fixing this up. So these wax capacitors are all questionable in terms of their condition. And further up in the radio, looks like there's a wax one here, and there's an electrolytic one here. So I'm pointing out the capacitors that almost certainly need to be changed. There's one tied in here. Yikes. That's getting a little difficult. There's all those tuning adjustments. They're all down here. It's very similar to like a Pi radio. Has a similar sort of big pile of adjustments. Let's take a close look. Well, let's run around with a close-up camera. Here we go. This big resistor catches my eye here. It just looks pretty rough. Well, it looks like it got hot enough to burn off the paint that was on it. It almost looks like it's split. I don't think so, though. So if something like this is intended to get hot, maybe not so hot. It produces smoke, that's for sure, but this one looks like it's been hotter than intended, because they wouldn't coat it with something in the expectation that it will melt off as soon as the thing is, as soon as the resistor is put to work. On the other hand, these kinds of resistors are intended to run warm, or they're usually in circuits in situations where they run warm. Look at the size of this, trying to throw the heat off. Okay, so this guy could be in trouble also. Let me just run down the line here. These are probably all made in England. Appear to be in good shape, actually. So what I mean by that is I'm looking at the wax coating, and is it there? as it dried away, dripped off, melted away and dripped off. You know, as these radios go, this one's in pretty good shape inside here. Very good, actually. So I'm not inclined to take on work for which there's no indication that it's needed. Look at this one. This is hidden way up at the back there. That's way up in there. And then there's this one I was looking at, the bracket. So some of the wax is kind of flaking off here. So the purpose of the wax is to stop moisture from getting in. But believe it or not, beeswax is provides a moisture-proof barrier. But see where the wire's going into the capacitor there? There's a bit of a gap. Some of it has come off. You know, given the length of time this radio's been around, like any other radio, it's been around a long time, moisture gets into everything no matter what. So the wax is going to slow the penetration of moisture, but I don't think it can stop it. The only thing that stops moisture is metal. Even glass has a moisture penetration rate. Obviously it's extremely low. Maybe it's so low as to be considered not there. But there's a reason why when you open up your bag of chips, the plastic bag is lined with metal. Metal-lined plastic bags are moisture-proof. Plastic bags are not. See anything interesting? Anybody see anything interesting here? That's got to be the filter, one of the filter capacitors. Yeah, it's this thing right up on top here. What does it say? It says, hold still. It says, hold still here. 50-50 microfarads. They pluralized it. Red outer. Red outer. What does that mean? 350 volts, 425 surge. When you start these radios up, sometimes the high voltage goes much higher than it's intended for a few seconds. So that's the surge. When they say working, maximum working, usually that means they're talking about a rectified AC signal. So it's still working the capacitor, if you like, I think. Red outer, what does that mean? Is there something red here? There's nothing red here, is there? So it's important to look at how these are attached to the chassis too. So this one, what is that? That's a metal bracket for sure. So it's just bolted down to the chassis. Sometimes these guys are insulated from the chassis for good reason. And looking underneath, yeah, there's no sign that this is in any way isolated. We have two terminals. And was there just one rating up here? No, 50, 60, 50, 50, 50. 60, 50? I think it's 50, 50. Poorly stamped. Doesn't really matter. There's two. And only two leads here, so the ground must be the frame of the capacitor. You can see on the top, up around 11 o'clock, as you look at this, you can see a little bit of material. Would look like it's leaking out of the capacitor. Chances are this guy's just fine. Fine enough. Okay, we'll just keep going along here. We're looking for evidence of things burning, cracked, weird. Weird. This is the bottom of the power transformer, and these are all the terminals, some of which would be high voltage terminals. Probably the red wires are the high voltage ones. Can't be sure though. Coming up to the switch. The switch here has 4 terminals. Not exactly sure why, but we'll get around to looking at a schematic. And I mentioned I have not found the schematic for this. Now look what they've done here. They've grounded the shell of the volume control with kind of a lousy solder job there. It looks like you could pop that right off. You just put a screwdriver to it. But they've grounded the shell. Because these volume controls are usually in the very, very sensitive part of the radio where the audio signal is very weak before it gets amplified. If any little hum or whatever joins it at that point, the hum will get amplified too. So even the tiny hum that might come from a floating shell on this volume control, if the shell is floating, it's not grounded. It should be grounded, by the fact that it's bolted in here. I mean, bolted in. I can't really show that, can I? I can't really show that right now, but of course it's oh, here it is, right here. It's bolted right in. So you think, well, the shell is grounded, but it's just a press fit. It looks like they tried to solder right up onto the upper part of the shell there too. Seldom see that kind of thing. But the Irish made this radio. The Irish. Now, what is going on there? Exactly. So, it looks like a shielded wire. The shield has been extracted and is going to the left there to what would look like a ground lug. And then the center wire's been bent back and over, and it's probably going to that terminal. So it's just a shielded wire. There's nothing special about it. Okay, well, I don't think there's any problem with trying to start this guy up. Now, I wouldn't, run to Niagara Falls and plug it right into the Niagara Falls generator there. I'm going to plug it in through these lights here, through these dim, what are called dim lights. Dim, Jim. The idea is I'll feed the power to this through these light bulbs, and if there's something seriously wrong here, all that'll happen is those lights will come on bright. And in the meantime, they will restrict the amount of power coming over to the oh, you know what, there is one thing I certainly got to do. I got to put a plug on this. I don't have to, I got ways of doing this without a plug. It's a black wire and a red wire. But I was going to say, but is the plug polarized? There's no plug. The plug is gone. We don't know if it was polarized, but it probably wasn't. Let's look again at what's going on with the red and the black wire underneath here. Okay, bring back the blocks. Tremendous demonstration of skill and finesse. Get on there. I just want to look at this wire. So coming in here, going up over to the switch. So what's going on with the switch? The reason it's got 4 terminals is it's a double pole switch. So when the switch is off, both wires are open. The fact that they're red and black, I don't think it means anything. The black one, I don't think it means anything. They're going almost certainly straight to the primary of the transformer and nowhere else. Okay, no problem. But again, there's room there for a surprise. If you don't check these things out, you could end up with a surprise. So what was I looking for that might be surprising? Some connection to the chassis. But there isn't one. Ooh, oh, that's a bracket. That's the screw on the bracket I'm hearing. Oh, there still is sound in there. Sometimes there can be loose pieces inside the socket here, harmlessly rolling around outside of everything. But I've got a magic eye where can you see that cap right there? The cap is off. and just rolling around inside. Goodness knows how that happened. I have other tubes with parts that have come off inside the tube and are rolling around inside it. Hard to believe. One of them is a gigantic tube. If I had it right here, I would show it to you right now. But I don't have it right here. Okay. Need to put the plug on, and then we're going to turn it on. And stand back and see what... Oh, I got to figure out the speaker situation. Oh, more to do. Okay, I think we're just about ready. What about you, Bert? What are you eating down there? What are you eating? Well, he's not eating junk here. He's finding stuff elsewhere to chew on. Okay, we're almost ready here to go ahead. Just untangle my camera. Here we go. Okay, so I have the speaker connected back in. You know what I've forgotten is an antenna. We never even looked at the antenna situation. The antenna situation is there's two terminals on the back. One says antenna, the other says ground. That's it. So, I'm gonna. So this lead goes to an outdoor antenna, and I can't just plug it in. Okay. Unnecessary complication here. Let's take a look at it. So here's the terminals. 2 here and 3 there. What's going on? 2 here, 3 there. These cats are running around like crazy. So the 2 here are the pickup ones for the record player, and the antenna here, just two. Okay, let's see if I can find some something I can plug into the back there. Let's see. Whoops. That's the wrong ones anyway. Nope. Nope. This might work. Nope. Come on. Oh, once again, those crafty Irish have come up with their own size of plug. I think this is going to work. Come on, really? You gotta be kidding. Really thin one? No. Well, it just happens to be exactly the size I don't have anything that goes into it. What kind of a crazy situation is this? That's not even a plug. Well, okay. I don't have any Irish plugs. Well, we can get up underneath here and clip on. Could do that. I'm going to have to do that, I think. Unless I can... There's got to be something here that I've got that is going to do the trick. Something. Somehow. Like even a... So I've done this before. I'll do this again. I'll take a screw, put it in, and just put it in a little bit. Whoops. A little more than that. Not enough to actually cut in, you know what I mean? Why are there 3 things there? I didn't see 3 things here. Earth and aerial, but there's 3 things. There's 3 terminals there. Come on. How come nothing is simple here? 1, 2, 3. Nothing written on it. Well, we'll guess the top one is the aerial. Just screw that in like that. put the antenna on it. Let's swing this back this way. If I had a schematic, I would check to see where the ground should go from the antenna. But for now, I'm not even going to connect the ground. We'll just connect the live wire, if I can call it that. This is lead goes to an outdoor antenna, a amplified antenna, not a long wire antenna. Okay, I think we're ready to try and turn this on. What do you say, cats? Good idea? You can ask them yourself. What are you guys doing? What's going on back there? Is it your brother back there? What are you going to do? Oh, they're going to start the fighting. Uh-oh, this is a disaster waiting to happen. Just about now. No? Dude, what he's standing on is not stable. Hey, where'd your brother go? Where's he going? He can't go back there. Yeah, and there you see it. It's a law of nature. Things tend towards more chaos. And I've got, look at the little chaos agent back there. Here he comes. Everybody run for it. The chaos machines are coming. They've just they've hidden away. They've hidden away. Okay, enough of that. You know, people get a kick out of seeing the cats, so there you go. We get to see them all day long doing that kind of stuff. Okay, antenna time here. Oh my gosh. Okay, antenna is switched on. We are ready to go. It's on. I should put where are all those knobs go? What'd you do with the knobs? Here they are. Okay, and I think the band changed one. I should put the knob on. If that was the right knob, it would have gone. That'd be on band number 1. That's probably a long wave. No, that's a short wave. So we go 2, 3, medium wave, long wave, and G. What is G? G is, listen to those cats. What are they doing? It's like they're dismantling my shop here. Come on, get out of there. They found my wire hanging area. Are you stuck? Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Okay. He was stuck. Oh my gosh. Crazy guys. Get out of here. Don't go back there again anymore. In fact, and I've got the ultimate door stop. There you go. Okay. That's good. The 2 troublemakers. That's Wally and Bert. Wally has the white patch. Bert is the troublemaker right there. Yeah. Lots of fun. Lots and lots of fun. Okay, we're ready now. I think we're ready. So, switched off. So I gotta get rid of these things. Don't want too much on the bench here when we do this kind of stuff, in case a panic ensues. So the way this works, this is not plugged in the wall directly. This is going through an isolation transformer. It's also going through this voltage control box, which I don't make a lot of use of. But most importantly, it's going through these 2 light bulbs up here. When I first hit the power will go through the light bulbs to get here. And that'll just limit everything so nothing really bad can happen really fast. And I don't think anything bad's going to happen anyway. Except for in my shop here. What? Oh my gosh. Once wasn't enough. There's nothing back there, you goof. Oh my gosh. Okay, he's digging there. Meanwhile, the other guy's over here. What are you doing? Come on, man. Get out. You know, they're not very good with English. What'd you find there? Oh, look at that. Isn't that a handy guy? Hey, thank you for finding that. I didn't know I had that. Okay, leave everything else alone. Come on. His brother's come over now. It's wild time. Can you guys possibly get out of here? No, I don't want you. I really don't. Come on. Oh, yeah, they're going to see that go up on the bench and go, okay, we got to go up on the bench now. Oh my gosh, they're full of life. Okay, we're just going to ignore them. I don't think they can do any harm. They're finding a way back in behind there. Oh my gosh. What are you doing? Look at that. No! Come on. Jeepers. It's a small shop here, you know. Okay, you're being sent on your way. Now, I gotta use a special technique for this to send them on his way. Special technique is the ball. You ready? Here we go. I'm going to send him on his way. See the ball? Go get it! There he goes. Goodbye to you. Meanwhile, his brother's reappeared. Hey! Turning this radio on. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. In between the pandemonium. Okay, once again, switch is off. So I'm going to apply the power, my little power panel control here. You get used to the sound of the switches. This arms the whole thing. Nothing happens. This switch down, power goes through the lights. Up, power comes straight from the nuclear power plant in Pickering right into the radio. Straight there. Okay, here we go. Nothing should happen when I energize this. Nothing should happen here. My house is being destroyed behind us. So, okay, good. Supply voltage 111 volts. That's good enough for now. That's good enough. Okay, switch on here and power on here. This time, when I hit it, power will come here. These lights will come on. In fact, are they both screwed in? Yep. They're going to come on. They'll probably come on bright and then go down. And then come back up, and at that point, sound should come out of the speaker, but we don't know what to expect. Okay, switch is on, volume is up a little bit, and we think we're on the broadcast band, and we're tuned just in the middle of nowhere here. Let's tune down to the, let's put a knob on there. We'll put the tone knob on here. That's a little better. So no, I want the capacitor closed because I want to be, incidentally, these radios, they're backwards to North American radios, so I'm going down in frequency as I tune this way. They're going up in wavelength. That's the deal. Okay, so here we are. So there's AM stations somewhere down around here. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Watching the lights. They did not come on very bright at all. Kind of surprising. They did come on and then they went off. So that indicates the heaters are heating up, at least in some of these tubes. It comes on a little bit bright at first because the heaters are cold in the tubes and they draw more power just for a brief moment. So we're probably got a very low 100 volts there. Oh my gosh. So this is not drawing much power at all. That's a little surprising. I can see the panel lights are on. We're running it with 102 volts. That should be enough. Takes a long time. When you restrict the voltage, it takes a long time for the tubes to heat fully up. I don't hear a thing. I hear nothing. Okay, so let's turn the volume up. still warming up. Still warming up. She's a Hummer. Whoops, I didn't mean to turn it off. Okay, she's a Hummer. Well, that's about all we can find out today. So the humming is coming because this guy is not doing his job anymore. So we're going to have to not replace this, but I'll install some new capacitors underneath and cut this guy out of the circuit. And then we won't have the hum. But that's for tomorrow. That's as far as we can get today. I have to go wrestle with some cats now. So thanks a lot for watching. Tomorrow we will deal with the hum. We'll make this thing work. And go from there. Thanks a lot for watching. And have a great day. My mouse stopped working. Okay, still, have a great day.